I denoted years ago what listening to trap music, like listening to rap music and stuff, does to me as far as my state and how aggressive I can, like, I can present, and like how I'm moving, and it alters my frequency. Growth gang, welcome back to another growth talk. Today I want to talk about how true power as a potentially dangerous man, your true power actually is through restraint. It's not through acting like a tough guy. Now I want to digress. I fucked up today. And that's the whole point of these talks, right? Is for me to get vulnerable and share insights into my aha moments and my life lessons so that I can pass them on to you. So today, I had a killer day. I beat a case in court today in my pre-trial. We don't need to get into too much discussing about it. Some bullshit. But anyways, went in there and knocked it out like Tyson. Should have seen the Crown's face. Just fucking dumbfounded. But anyways, that's, you know what I mean? Neither here nor there. If it was something that I had done, you know what I mean, I would be accountable. But it wasn't something I even did. It was some bullshit. So anyways, fucking went in there, slapped that out the park. Like Griffith. I don't know if you've ever seen Half Baked, but literally walked outside the double court doors out of the courtroom, went free. But anyway, so I've been on, you know what I mean? Been having a really good day on a little, like, you know what I mean? Been on a high today. And when I'm feeling that way and I'm in my power, I gotta be careful. Don't mind me, eat my pineapple. I need to be conscious of how I allow that power, that strength, that frequency to manifest. And when you're vibing at a very high frequency and you're taking over the world like I do every day, you know what I mean? The devil, whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean? That low vibration, that negative force. So you're going to try and throw curveballs your way. You know what I mean? So what happened today is like I was out on one of my walks, and young boy cut me off, like walked right in front of me, like it almost felt like it was intentional, but like that, you know what I mean? Not to toot my horn, but like that just isn't bright. Like I'm not exactly somebody that, you know what I mean, people want to test, and like I don't suggest that they do. Good thing is like the whole point of this conversation is like I keep myself in check 99.9% of the time. But we had a 0.1% altercation today. It didn't get physical, but I was too willing to escalate it there. So for the sake of all that, we're going to have to talk about how your true power as a man, like as a powerful man, like if you're a pussy, like, you know what I mean, you tuck your tail and you're just avoiding conflict, like that's not this. But if you're somebody who has the capacity and the ability to be a dangerous man, your true power actually comes from your ability to have restraint. And I didn't do that so well today. Like, it's a young boy, probably like 19 or 20, and you know what I mean, wearing his poo shiesty and all this shit, you know what I mean, thinking he's thugging. And so he walked in front of me, and like any closer, like would have stepped on the fucking Versace's, like literally like an inch from like literally stepping right on my shoes, like cut right in front of me. I was just like, what the fuck? And he looked back at me and went, like say something. I'm like, little man, what are you doing? And he's like, he turned around, he's like, what? And I was like, I'm like, listen here, Mr. Pooh Shiesty. I said, don't act tough with me. I said, show some respect, bro. I said, you see somebody, you know what I mean, walking, like, why would you walk in front of them? And especially me, like I'll post some Birdman shit, like throw some respect on my name. Like I'm not exactly somebody, you know what I mean? Like why would you not respect me? I look like you want to be. I'm experiencing the levels of success that you might aspire to be, you know what I mean? To be experiencing for yourself and stuff. Like most young boys throw respect on me when they see me out in the street. I got people running up, you know what I mean, trying to daps me up, asking me who I am. Like I'm driving around in a fucking Lambo or something. But it's because like I built the Lambo. I am the Lambo. You know what I mean? But irregardless, let's keep it in context here. So he turns around, what? And I was like, I'm like, listen here, little poo shiesty. I'm like, you better watch yourself, man. I was like, why would you be cutting people off like that? He looks at me and says, who the fuck are you talking to? No, sent straight from the devil himself. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, got me all the way out of pocket. I grabbed him and pulled him in and said, if you don't say sorry right now, I'm going to drag you out of here and change your life. And he's just like, you know what I mean? Kind of like realized like I'm not somebody that you just get to talk tough with. And like, I don't pride myself on that, but like, you know what I mean? Like I'm conducting myself in a manner where I'm respecting myself and everything around me. And I would appreciate it if men can do the same. And as somebody who can grip you up and put a whooping on that ass, sometimes I feel a little obligated. It's like, what if that was like an older fella or like a woman or, you know what I mean? Like somebody who couldn't, you know what I mean, maybe defend themselves. Like what? You're just going to walk around like you're a tough guy, cutting people off and stuff? Like if he would do it to me, he'd do it to anybody. So it's like I feel obligated. It's something that I'm working on though, because like that's not my responsibility. That's not my obligation. Like often I try and take that position out of like almost like a role of responsibility. It's like, well, as a man capable of doing so, like I feel obligated to check cats that are getting out of pocket because like you never know who they're doing that to. You know what I mean? Like what if that was my mom or my grandma or like, you know what I mean? Like an autistic guy or like you never fucking know, right? Irregardless, like I'm not trying to reinforce, you know what I mean, my right to do so. I actually want to digress and I'm going to just continue to tell the story and try not to amp it up anymore because like it's not something I'm proud of. It's actually something that, you know what I mean, like really got me like raised that awareness for me is like fuck man, like you got to keep yourself in check. And like more importantly than I feel like I gotta G check other cats. Like it's more important that I keep myself in check. I remain, you know what I mean, on a level. I remain in equanimity, you know what I mean? And my true power as a man with the capacity to be dangerous is actually through my ability to have that restraint. So but I gripped him. I pulled him in and I said, if you don't say sorry right now, I said, I'm going to drag you out of here and change your life. And he starts digging in his pocket like he's going to grab out a knife or something. I said, bro, if you pull the hawk out, I said, I'm going to hurt you. I said, I'm going to take that from you and I'm going to hurt you. I said, just diffuse and say sorry. I was like, I'm asking you as a man and you're clearly your elder to say sorry. To acknowledge that you just disrespected the shit out of me, to come back to reality and realize who you're talking to, even though that doesn't really, that's not the preface, that's not the premise. Like you should be showing respect to anybody. You know what I mean? Like you give respect until somebody gives you an outright reason why you're, you know what I mean? Why you retract that respect. Like you should give it to everybody. Like it's just better to be more of a positive force. Like, in the world. Like I'm usually walking around, you know what I mean, flashing free smiles all day and stuff. Like I would rather give you a smile and some positive energy and a look of encouragement than be walking around like a tough guy trying to reinforce, you know what I mean, my ego. But anyways, so he's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, fix the face and say it properly, please. I said, I'm not trying to nitpick. I said, I would like you to say sorry. I was like, and I want you to mean it. I was like, I'm not some fuckboy that, you know what I mean, you get to do this to. I said, and I said, I'm sorry. Like, I let him go, and I was like, I'm sorry. I'm not even trying to act tough with you. I said, but you need to, you know what I mean? So he fixed up, and he's like, I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean? In proper tone and stuff. I was like, thank you. And so I ended up handing him a growth gang card. And I said, you know what I mean? I was like, bro, it's like, I teach, you know what I mean? I don't teach, but like I help men be better men. You know what I mean? By creating awarenesses, giving them arming them with the information, the skill sets, helping them get their body right, helping them get their mind right. And yeah, so anyways, but the moral of the story and the reason that I'm talking about all this and why this is the conversation that I'm looking to have today is you need to show restraint. Like you should probably be capable of, you know what I mean, of violence and have the capacity to be a dangerous person because you need to be able to defend yourself and you know what I mean and your loved ones and such. But the true power actually comes from restraint as a powerful man. So that's the whole point of this conversation is like, don't be walking around acting like a tough guy. And I want to share a little side, like not a sidebar, it's actually very much parallel to what we're talking about here. I denoted years ago what listening to trap music, like listening to rap music and stuff does to me as far as my state and how aggressive I can like I can present and like how I'm moving and it alters my frequency. It actually puts me in a low vibrational state where I'm just being aggressive. My ego wants you to know I could fuck you up. And like none of that serves anything, especially like in my life and in the era that I'm in, like none of that serves anything, nor kind of does it ever, irregardless of what era you're in your life. Like if you want to know you're built like that, like go join a boxing class or something and see if you can knock a cat out. Like, you know what I mean? Somebody that is a willing participant, you know what I mean? To see man to man what people are made of and stuff. Like don't be out in the street wheeling around your tough guy trying, you know what I mean? Trying to affirm yourself and satisfy that ego and be at every turn trying to show people like, oh, I'm a Bob man type shit. Like I'm big man. You better, you know what I mean? You better pipe down. Like none of that serves. Don't be out there acting like a tough guy and a thug. Like real thugs, we possess a level of restraint. We're capable and have the capacity to flip that switch. And if you back us into a wall or hurt a loved one or one of our children or something, like you get into business in the worst way if you really violate. But for the most part, like you need to have a good spectrum of what that definite violation is where you actually move into that. And a guy cutting me off, you know what I mean, in the mall while I'm out for a walk isn't that. I felt justified in the time, you know what I mean, of making him apologize and acknowledge, you know what I mean? And it may have been a point of growth for him, but I shouldn't have gotten as aggressive as I shouldn't have pulled him in, I shouldn't have threatened him, none of that. I probably could have articulated the lesson without getting aggressive. Like I don't have to act tough because I am. So like I don't need to exert those aggressive signals and everything in order to position myself and to wake somebody the fuck up and let them, you know what I mean? It's like, man, like read the room, like look at who you're dealing with, look at who you're talking to, right? Like and respect it. But that's ego shit. So I just want like so when I'm listening to trap music, like it's frequencies, right? Like sounds are frequencies. Frequencies alter your energy, alter your state. So like 808s and a lot of the sounds that are very popular in trap music are low vibrational. So they'll pull you into a low vibrational state and they make me aggressive. Like aggressive. Like if I was listening, you know what I mean? I was listening to some hood rich Pablo Juan walking through the mall and he walked in front of me, so he got the business. And I'm not blaming music in any way. Like everything has its time and its place. Like I love, you know what I mean? I love trap music. Like love it. As long as you're aware of what it has the potential to be doing to you. So like coupled with, you know what I mean, all the negative words and all the stuff that you know what I mean, kill this, do like all that stuff. And if you're like me, like I sing out loud and stuff, I'm walking around vibing and stuff. So like I'm literally reiterating, which little vocabulary lesson, reiterate, like I'm saying it aloud, um, in a heightened state with emotion behind it, coupled with the frequencies in the beats, not a good thing. Like sensory input is like things that you're taking in, TV, sound, stuff like that, that can alter your state and your frequency. So like that's a sensory input that you probably shouldn't do a whole lot. You shouldn't be listening to trap music all the time and stuff. Like you just really shouldn't. Um, like I don't know. Like I don't want to elaborate on that too much more, but you should be conscious of the fact that like music can do that too. So for the most part, like I don't really know like the different genres and stuff, and you know what I mean. I'd hate to offend like you know what I mean anybody that really loves all that stuff, but like I really don't know the difference between like EDM and house and like all that stuff, techno, whatever. Like I don't know the difference. I have a playlist of like my favorite songs, and they're high frequency, high vibrational sounds. They're not saying a bunch of negative stuff, and I literally go from walking around like to like happy. So like I can really attest to the state change as a repercussion of the music that you're listening to. So careful if you're listening to a bunch of trap music. You know what I mean? You might be out there thugging and not even realize it, and then have to catch yourself after the fact. And unfortunate, like it didn't lead to a situation because technically, like me grabbing that guy, like that's assault right there. So like I need to be careful. Like I'm not trying to go to jail over you know what I mean, my need to inflict a lesson on some little idiot. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. There's its yin and its yang. But if you're a powerful guy, like you may feel responsible, like me, to check these cats every once in a while because other people can't. But that's something that I'm moving away from. Like I'm trying to help those that are helping themselves. Like and I'm not getting pulled into these low vibrational states and these shitty negative pendulums that you know what I mean these people are caught in. So be conscious of the music that you're listening to, and I want you to understand that true power as somebody with the capacity for violence and the capacity and the ability to be a dangerous person, that your true power as a man actually comes in your ability to institute that restraint. It doesn't come from walking around like a fucking tough guy. So don't be acting like a fucking tough guy. It's not necessary. It actually doesn't fucking serve anything. When I see people walking around acting extra tough, it's a defense. Like I know it's a fucking defense mechanism. Probably never been in a fight in their life. They're probably got a fucking knife in their pocket or in their bag or something because they're just scared as shit, and they're walking around in that state. Like they're attracting trouble unconsciously most of the time by being in that low vibrative, aggressive state. Like you're just attracting like a fucking magnet more people into your hemisphere that are going to behave and act that same way. But so just be conscious of it. I can only hope to create the awareness. Like I just want to drive it home one more time. Your true power as a man with the capacity for violence and the ability to be a dangerous person, your true power is actually through instituting that restraint and maintaining it. And it's better for you and it's better for everybody around you. Like unless somebody comes in your home or, you know what I mean, it is like, you know what I mean, threatening your children or your wife or whatever, or you know what I mean, your homestead. Like violence should be the last thing that you resort to. And it's actually that restraint that shows other powerful men that you possess that true power. You need to have the capacity and the ability to defend yourself and you know what I mean, and to move into violence if it's called for. But you should definitely 99.9% of the time realize that it doesn't call for that. It often calls for intelligence and like maybe understanding why people are acting certain ways and stuff is more of a personal problem and projection than it is like a slight or a disrespect to you. So I just wanted to denote that. Like, the music thing is something to be conscious of. I swear to God, stop listening to trap music for a month and listen to some, you know what I mean? Listen to some lighter vibe tunes and some high frequency beats and techno, like techno-y kind of stuff. I really don't know what the genre is, and I apologize. I'm not trying to offend anybody. Um, and watch the difference in your state. Like, I go from walking around like I want everybody to know, you know what I mean? I'm big man, to walking around holding doors and, hey, how are you? Oh, I like your shoes. Like it's crazy. So like I can really denote that it definitely does have that extenuating effect on me, because it changes your state, changes your vibration. It can pull you into a low vibration, low frequency state, as where on the flip side of that, you know what I mean, the music that doesn't have so much negativity in it and is sounds that are of a higher frequency can pull you into a high vibration and a higher frequency state. It's real, like it really is. So be conscious of what you're listening to. Some people, you know what I mean, maybe it's not that deep. Like, I'm an empath, so things deeply affect me, like they do. So I'm more introspective and aware and conscious of the things that are altering my state. So if you're somebody that experiences something similar, I suggest, you know what I mean, maybe taking a look at that. Maybe you shouldn't be listening to rap music all the time. Not that I don't love rap music and that it doesn't have its place. I'm not trying to degrade the culture and you know what I mean, that genre of music. I grew up on it. I love it. I'll be bumping Gucci Mane and all, you know what I mean, all them guys and stuff till I die. With the conscious awareness of the potential of what it's doing to my state. But it has its place. Like, sometimes I like being like that. Like how some people love listening to some death metal in the gym and stuff. I listen to trap music because like that's an acceptable place for that aggression. That's a good place to put it. Like, if you have a positive outlet to channel aggression, it can be good in that way, because it definitely puts you in a state to, you know what I mean, that capacity to harness that aggression. That's for fucking sure. But you need to be aware of it. Some people are listening to that stuff and don't realize why they're so fucking angry all the time. Don't even realize why they're so agitated and stuff. It might be the music you're listening to be honest. But like I said, like, you got to check yourself. And that's something that I'm now going to be very conscious of. I vibe high. I'm at high energy states 99.9% of the time. And I do have that capacity and that ability to be dangerous and to get violent. And like, I don't pride myself on it. I'm in no way trying to hurt anybody. It's not something that I aspire to do, to be honest. Like, I'd rather give you a hug and sit you down and ask what's wrong. Maybe talk it out. Try and uncover the deeper traumas that lead to you conducting yourself that way out in public. That probably would have been a more appropriate way to approach that fella. Most guys aren't going to be receptive to it. Hopefully it hit home for him. Hopefully he walked away a little bit more conscious of, you know what I mean, how he's conducting himself out in the world and out in public. Like, if he cut somebody like me off, like, I'm not trying to toot my horn. If you cut somebody like me off, like, fuck, you damn near do it to anybody, right? So, gotta have that checks and balance. Don't be moving like an asshole out in the world. There's no upside to acting like a tough guy. And to be honest, like, real tough guys, like, we know that's a defense mechanism. We know you're just like you're emanate, like, even if you're not barking, you're emanating a bark, so that, you know what I mean, you never have to bite, and nobody attempts to bite you. But people, you know what I mean, people that really have that capacity and are harnessing that restraint for themselves, like, we see that. It's childish. Really is. And I definitely I digressed and I moved into that state today. And so I thought that created a new vantage point and an awareness in me that I would like to transfer to you today. That's the whole point of these growth talks. So to summarize, your true power as a man with the capacity for violence and your ability to be a dangerous man your true power actually comes from your ability to have restraint. Like, don't be getting out of pocket. Don't be piping up on everybody. Like, it's actually going to be more detrimental to you in the long run. Like, you could hurt somebody, right? Like, just because it's a fist fight doesn't mean that I don't hit him and he goes down the wrong way, hits his head and dies. I'm in jail for fucking manslaughter now, or even assault, like just basic assault and stuff. Like, but it shouldn't even just be like, oh, I don't want to go to jail. Like, fuck jail. You know what I mean? I'm not even trying to act like that, but jail's whatever. You should actually be more conscious of how you're conducting yourself and who you are in the world, because you're just trying to be a good person. Not because you're scared of potential threats and stuff, but like, you do need to be conscious of that. Like, I'm not somebody who it's going to be of any benefit to be pulled out of society and thrown in jail at this point. I coach a lot of guys. You know what I mean? I'm running Growth Gang. I'm co-founding another company right now. Like, I got 2 dogs. I got 2 condos. Like, you gotta gotta be conscious, right? Like, I can't be out there moving like a fucking dick and potentially, you know what I mean, throwing myself under the bus and fucking myself over because I can't have that restraint in the moments. So as you move into your power, as you're in a high frequency state, and I mean your power, like, I literally feel like I could walk out in the middle of the street, stop a bus with my hands sometimes. Like, I feel that powerful, vibing that high. You know what I mean? That's my energy. That's my state. But it doesn't have to be reinforced by getting aggressive with people. And it's also not your obligation. Like, if you're like me, it's not your obligation to be, you know what I mean, to be teaching lessons to everybody. It's just not. Like, I used to firmly believe that, and it comes from prison and being in the street and stuff. It's like who the fuck is gonna teach you if I don't? You know what I mean? Like, there might not be anybody who feels tough enough, or like they have the ability to check you. So, like, as somebody who feels like knows I can do that, I used to feel obligated to do it. It's not your obligation at all. Do you, man? Like, and allow your lessons to be in a positive realm and on a positive spectrum. It shouldn't be through aggression. Like, that actually doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, they go into straight defense mode, and like their ears are turned right off. They're no longer hearing anything like, it's not constructive at all. It isn't. When you get aggressive with somebody, you move them into a state of fight or flight. Like, they're not hearing anything anymore. Like, that fella probably walked away just cursing me all day. You know what I mean? Probably want to go grab a couple of his homies and try and find me or something. Like, but yeah, it's not your obligation as a strong man to check other men on their bullshit. Sometimes, like, not all the time, but like, for the most part, like, that shouldn't be your sense of duty. Like, you need to be more conscious and aware of the potential fallouts and the energy that you're possessing, and the frequency that you put, like the low vibration, low frequency that you put yourself in when you allow yourself to get caught up in that negativity and that bullshit. You're far better off to just leave it alone. Let go and let God. Like, you know what I mean? He's going to get his, at some point. And it doesn't necessarily have to be me. I'm not trying to end up in prison because somebody stepped on my Versace's. He didn't actually step on me. He came pretty fucking close. Like, it was a trip, man. Like, literally, like, he walked. Right? Like, I walk fast, too. Like, I had to stop, like, dead in he walked right in front of me. It was a fucking trip. What the fuck? But my higher self just gets a little smile on, says a little, you know what I mean? Just in my head, I tell him I love him, and I say a little prayer for him. That's it. It's not my obligation to get tough with him, get aggressive, and drive that lesson home in that way. But yeah, that's it. And also be conscious of the music thing. To be honest, like, that's not something that you've ever considered or looked at. If you find yourself angry and aggressive, Change the music you listen to for a month and watch your state change. It's a real thing. But I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to go down, get in the sauna, finish up my pineapple here. 9:15, damn near ready for bed. I'm getting up at like 4 and 5 in the morning again. Summertime in Toronto. But yeah, if you're, you know what I mean, your true power comes from restraint, fellas. So we'll leave it off there. And until next time, let's grow together.